Welcome to an Adhocracy Fedora Friday on today's episode.
Happy trees.
Happy accidents.
Today we're going to try to Bob Ross.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm JD Melville.
And I'm David Landeen, and welcome to an Adhocracy Fedora Friday. And this is what Fedora Friday is all about. This episode right here is what we envisioned for Fedora Friday.
Just having fun and enjoying.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you're here for the first time, make sure that you click the subscribe button down below, and you'll be able to see when we have new episodes. It's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, Friday is our Fedora Friday show, where we like to have fun.
Yeah, so today we're talking about Bob Ross. From the years of 1983 to 1994, Bob Ross, for 31 seasons, taught us how to paint. He taught us the joy of painting.
Yeah, and, today we're going to honor him. One, because we talked about, on Wednesday's show, Trump cutting the arts and how some of these funds that went to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, of course, where Bob Ross was housed.
Now, you may notice that we have these painting supplies here. We have our easels and our palettes and our paint brushes. And we're gonna do you're gonna paint. You can paint along with us if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. But Bob Ross was kind of a big figure. He was on for forever. He did a whole lot, and it's going to be hard for us to measure up in any way to him. So we're going to try to measure up in a small way.
So let's get our canvases. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go.
All right.
That's looking good. All right.
Very nice.
So we are going to try to, in a very small way, be like Bob Ross while talking about Bob Ross.
Yeah.
I'll get it started. On Bob Ross's show, The Joy of Painting, he used a style called alla prima, or wet on wet. Mainly in oils is what he would usually work in, and this would not allow the paint to dry before adding another layer. So his program was 30 minutes long, and this style allowed him to paint from start to finish in 30 minutes and get the entire painting on there without letting the different layers dry. Bob Ross joined the Army at age 18. May not know that about him. He served 20 years in the U.S. Air Force. And he discovered while he was there a program on television very similar to his called The Magic of Oil Paintings with Bill Alexander. Actually learned a lot of his techniques from that program. And he realized that he could actually make more money painting than working in the military. So after 20 years, he left the Air Force and started The Joy of Painting.
And during the 403 episodes that the show aired, he taught us about happy accidents, happy trees.
I'm gonna make a lot of happy accidents here.
And mainly doing what you believe. Many art critics always called his paintings kitsch because really they were happy. They made everything look beautiful and nice. But Bob Ross was okay with that. He really didn't care. I mean, some of it was really just the joy in painting, actually doing it. In fact, he knew his paintings would never hang in the Smithsonian. He often donated them to PBS for fundraisers. And over his life, he painted around 30,000 paintings. That's a lot of paintings. But his career was never about money. In fact, his iconic hairstyle, the big poofy fro, that was actually to save money. He didn't want to be doing his hair and having to do that. So he just permed it. His love of painting was about spreading joy. He was all about joy through art. He didn't sell any of his paintings that much. I mean, that wasn't what his purpose was. He actually did a show for free and made money on the Bob Ross Inc., which was the company that sold his line of art supplies and books to help others know how to paint.
Well, that does not work. All right. Anyway, so actually, so one of these books, you may have seen that picture at the beginning that was down here. When I was in 8th grade, I had one of his books, and I learned how to paint from that. He had great techniques in there. All of his paintings, though some saw as kitsch, I just thought that they were really fun to paint, and it was very enjoyable to have something that turned out beautiful. It was very encouraging, the way that he would teach you both in the book and on the show. Bob Ross's soft voice was said to have come from his time as a drill sergeant in the military. Once he left, they say that he said he never wanted to yell again. And for me, the fun of his program, The Joy of Painting, was just watching a blank canvas. It was a blank canvas at the beginning, and you would watch this scenery. Now I love the outdoors, and Bob Ross started in Alaska. That's where he was in the military, was in Alaska. And so if you've been to Alaska, it's gorgeous. And you may notice that most of the time he had snow-capped mountains. He had his happy trees, very lush green forests.
You just got to beat the devil out of it.
And so that scenery that I love too. But you would watch this amazing scenery just unfold in front of you, and sometimes you wouldn't know what exactly he was painting, and then he would add those highlights, and it would just come to life. So as much as people said, it was kitsch, or it was, not really there, I feel like he did a great job of just creating things that people would enjoy watching or painting.
Yeah. One of the things that's really interesting too today is that recently a Twitch channel has started a stream the stream of The Joy of Painting, Friday through Monday. Twitch is a streaming website usually for live video games, streaming and viewing. And I think the recent interest in Bob Ross as of a streaming page actually just reached 10 million views, which is a lot of views for something that's as old as it is. There were a lot of things that Bob Ross also taught through philosophy. I mean, not only was he teaching painting, but he was teaching life lessons. Some of his famous philosophies were, you need the dark in order to show the light, which is, pretty philosophy-wise, pretty deep,
Philosophical.
Yeah, I mean, it really is pretty true and pretty nice. Remember that this is your world, and in your world, you can create anything you desire. So it was sort of, self-fulfilling, this is important to you, so then, do what you want. We don't make mistakes, we just make happy accidents.
That's one of his more famous ones. You probably heard that one.
Yeah, so he, it was very much that nothing really is a mistake, everything's just happy. In fact, the way trees grow, they don't care the way they grow. They're just happy that they are growing. As well, we'll have another thing he says. We'll have another tree here. No use stopping when you're having so much fun with these little trees. So I mean, a lot of it was a lot of joy and fun. Any way you want it to be, that's just right. It definitely was the right kind of emotion, especially for the audience, for the timing, for what PBS really says. So those are just a few of his sayings.
All right. Let's see. So he had an attitude of anybody can paint. Like, it wasn't about comparing his painting to your painting that you weren't doing at the time, but you were supposed to be doing along with him. Not many people actually painted along with him. People just enjoyed watching him paint. But it was definitely, he just had a can-do attitude. Your painting is great just the way it is. And kind of like when we were children, and we would paint or we'd color. Like our painting was always the best. It was always amazing. You never said I'm not a good drawer. You ask kindergarten class who's good at drawing, everybody raises their hand. And Bob Ross had that same style when he taught. He would never tell you couldn't do something or you shouldn't do something. It was always, you paint the way you want to paint, and you can paint along with me. You can put a tree here, or you don't have to. Why don't we put another tree here? His whole trees, they grow just how they want to. But again, this is 403 episodes of him painting the way he wanted to paint. And you know what? Like, we're gonna do the same thing now. We're just gonna paint.
Just get it down in the canvas there.
Yeah. So we're gonna attempt to Bob Ross. And what are you working on there, JD?
I've got a forest that's coming up, and we're gonna
try and put some highlights on these mountains. Let's see.
Oh, nice. It's kind of fun, right?
Whoosh.
Whoosh.
He also, I learned, would sometimes bring in animals. He was an animal lover.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he loved animals. He would take care of them, bring them in, sometimes even on the show. It's actually, I'm amazed that he was able to talk through the whole thing. Like,
I know, like not concentrating and just sort of.
Yeah, he never got so much into his paintings they forgot that he was being filmed, which is a tough thing to do.
It's a talent in and of itself. I mean, because we're definitely.
Oh yeah, we're forgetting that you're here. Because well, you aren't, but we're forgetting that you might be here.
You could be here.
You could. In our minds, you're right here. You're sitting on the other side of this table, and you're watching us paint.
These happy little.
Are you Bob Rossing with us? You can do it with crayons. You can do it with charcoal. There's many ways to Bob Ross.
Okay, so let's do some mountainous trees here. I think I just want a little bit of.
Let's see, I need to put like a river or something. I'm gonna do that with the knife, with a knife. Bob Ross, he used the knife technique a lot.
He did.
He loved his knife. Seems like he would use, like, I remember 3 brushes, right? He had his fan brush for his trees. He had his knife for tree trunks, mountains, snow, and then he had his giant brush that he would just
to wash over canvas, to also dry brush the stuff out a little, and
that would be kind of his big 3. Sorry, let's see, let's get some of this blue.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll finish these up and post them on our social media, and we'll show you what we can do. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And make sure that you comment below maybe some of the memories that you had of watching Bob Ross or your experience with Bob Ross.
Yeah. Thanks for following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where we're going to be posting these. And to end, we're gonna give you a little taste of good old Bob Ross, the actual Bob Ross,
the real Bob Ross,
the real one.
Yeah. We just have to sort of make a decision where we want the little stream to come from. Maybe back in here. And I know this is going to look like we're destroying everything. Don't worry about it. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.